Everybody, welcome. How'd you like that? I like that little boom. And there's, what is it? The logo for the 15th anniversary of WikiTree. So that's really great. So this is WikiTree Day 2023, and we're celebrating the anniversary of WikiTree. I am pretty excited about this program as well, and I'm thrilled that I'm able to host it. My name is Sandy, and I have brought Julie with us, who is the leader of the Mentors program. Why am I so interested in this? I don't know enough about it. I'd love to know more about the Mentors program. So welcome, Julie. This is great.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm really happy to be able to share more about it.
I think that there's a lot of misconceptions with the Mentors program, and we are going to fix that throughout this program. And I'd like to thank everybody who's popping up in chat right now. I hope everybody enjoyed the track that you were just on. And you are in the Mentors project. So let's go ahead and bring up the screen. If you notice during the intro, we talked a little bit about what the Mentors project is. And just real quick, it's to improve the overall experience of the WikiTree members by answering questions about the website and encouraging members with helpful suggestions. So when we say about the website, I think, Julie, we're meaning everything. Like if you don't know how to use wiki code, or if you don't know how to source properly, and our sourcing has different requirements for different profiles and different timeframes. When we say the website, it's also communicating with others as well. So the Mentors kind of touches everybody and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and address Murray's comment from a little bit ago. First of all, Murray, Victoria, British Columbia is one of my favorite places in the world. So I'm happy to hear you're here. And I think quickly, Murray, that we can solve your problem right away, because Sandy can show you how to go up to the help menu on any WikiTree page, and you'll find a link for Mentors right there. And it will take you out to a list of all of our active mentors, and they will have a little tags next to their name that shows what they like to specialize in. So you can look down the list and go down the page, and you can see what they like to work with, and they put a little bio out there, and you can just read through and pick somebody that looks like they would be a good fit for you to work with, and go ahead and contact them and tell them that you were hoping to talk with a mentor and get some help with whatever you need help with. So that's one of the really important features of our mentor project.
It really, really is. And I don't think many people know that this is here. And if they do know it's there, they might shy away from it, go, oh no, I don't think I need a mentor. I don't know what a mentor is, or maybe I'm worried about if I contact them, they don't know me. So they're going to think,
why am I
contacting? Yeah.
Our mentors are some of the most generous people on WikiTree. We have a lot of generous people, don't get me wrong, but they devote a big chunk of their time to helping other members that are struggling.
They really do. And I love this, because I know Christine, I know you know WikiTree. I know you do. And this is something that I thought was interesting that I learned not too long ago as well, that this is a resource for us to say, I have a question or I have a need. Like I'm looking right now. And so I know Dieter and I know Doug, and I'm looking at both of them up on the screen. And if, for example, duplicates emerging, if you're confused about WikiTree and can I have my own tree? I want my own tree. They can have their tree. I want my tree. But no, WikiTree is one tree, one profile per person ever that's ever been around, one person. And then I don't know how to duplicate. I don't know how to merge. So if you come to this list and you just kind of scroll down, you read the profile, you see the little green tags there. So Dieter could help me with that. All I have to do I love this too, because Dieter also has the tag new members. So I can go and contact him. I can go to his page, and I'll show you what that looks like. You're going to go to his profile page, scroll down, and you're going to send a private message right there.
Yep.
And all you need to do, you can even list it, it'll title help, and they will come and help you. But if you tell
and
them
Dieter his native language is German, so if you're in Germany, you get bonus points.
it's true, you really do. And if you've noticed, as we scroll down, there are different languages available. That's what's so great about this. And one of the biggest questions that people also have with WikiTree is DNA. And if you're struggling trying to figure out how to load your DNA into WikiTree and you're getting answers that don't make any sense, you could go to Doug, because Doug says, I can help you with that. And I can also help you with new member help. Little tip, you do not upload your DNA into WikiTree. It stays wherever it is. You just don't. But Doug can help you. Doug would be happy to help you with that information.
Would.
So again, all you need to do, excuse me for scrolling, is come up to the help and go down to mentors. You can go to G2G as well, but some people might not be comfortable with a forum where they say, oh, I'm embarrassed. I got to admit to the whole world on WikiTree that I didn't know what I was doing. Don't worry about it. Just come here to the help, scroll down to mentor, read one, and I guarantee you one will just, as you read it, they'll reach out to you and say, hey, I think this is my mentor. Send them a private message. Let them know what you need help with.
They will, most of them will identify themselves as a mentor. And of course, if you reached out to them yourself, you're going to know. So, yeah.
And I love this. And Kay, thank you. I had questions and I reached out to one of the mentors for help. And it was that simple. It really, really is. So if you don't feel comfortable going to G2G and you want more one-to-one, a private conversation, that's the way to do it. That's really, really it. And thank you, Hillary. Thank you for doing that. She's one of the mentors based in the UK. And I might want to mention that even though, for example, here I'm in Atlanta and I know where Hillary is. I'm just going to say the UK. We share a common language. So I know that. But also, if I was based in the UK, I might want somebody on the same time frame.
Right.
And that's an option too. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. That's the key. We want you to feel comfortable and happy at WikiTree.
And back to if we could just for a second, back to the G2G option, you can post a question in G2G. And if you think it's something a mentor would be able to help you with, just put the mentor tag in your question. If it's about, how do I change the date on this? How do I change the last name at birth? How do I enter my DNA? Any of the, kind of functional questions where you're having trouble with something, tag it with the mentor tag, and our mentors follow that tag and they'll see your question in their activity feed and somebody will pop out there and help answer it.
And just as a little side note that I learned really long time ago, I learned it. I didn't say I practiced it when I learned it, but if you have a question, chances are somebody else has a question about it too. So if you go to G2G, don't be embarrassed. Feel free. Ask the question and tag the mentors.
And you'll be helping somebody else for sure.
Yeah, you really will. I think that before we go too much further, we need to explain a little bit what this thing is called. That's Mentor Intervention Request, in short, MIR.
Right. So I know a lot of people see that and they feel like, one, if they send one in, they're going to get somebody in trouble. Or two, if somebody contacts them and says another member has reached out and sent in an MIR to get you some help, they feel like they're in trouble. So I would like to try my very, very best to turn that around and make this a more positive experience, because our mentors are not here to wrap your knuckles. They're here to help you. So let's take the first situation. If you see somebody who's struggling, say they're having trouble formatting. They're maybe not aware of our style guide, which incidentally is also linked on the help menu. They don't know where to go to find sources. They don't know how to enter them in. Maybe they're making erroneous connections on the family, whatever. You should always go to the help menu and use the problems with members process. That is a questionnaire that you can walk through that basically it helps you gauge how you feel about the problem that you're having with somebody else. Is it upsetting to you? Do you feel like you would not be able to communicate with them in a calm way? Then maybe you should ask a mentor to help them. That's what the mentor intervention request is. It's not only to get them help, it's to alleviate you from putting yourself in a position that makes you uncomfortable.
It really is. And don't wiki angry. So if somebody went to let's say somebody went to your grandma's page and made some changes, and they unintentionally, they really believe that source, or they really believe that your grandmother was married 3 more times. Don't wiki angry. Just have a calm conversation and then go to the help problem with members and let a member handle it, because mentors go through some training with WikiTree as well, right?
They have a lot of experience with WikiTree. They have the support of each other and the support of the mentor leaders. And then I support the project as a team member. So the mentors, we don't, I'm not going to say we have formal training. We're kind of getting into more of that with a new group that's coming up. But they already know what to do. If they don't know what to do, they have a lot of support to help them figure out what the next option is. But they're all just very generous members who know how to use WikiTree, know how to find answers if they don't know the answer to a question, and they're just there to help.
And that's
the
really
problems.
It. They're there to help.
The problems with members questionnaire is one of the most ingenious things I have ever run across on any website. I've never seen anything like it anywhere else, because it just kind of helps you gauge how you're feeling. It's like, if I'm not that upset, there's no reason I can't talk to this person about this. And then you just kind of remember what your honor code tells you to do. Be courteous, assume the mistake was unintentional. Send them a note and say, I noticed that you added a couple of husbands to my grandfather or to my grandmother, and I'm pretty sure she was only married once. Can you, help me find the sources that you looked at? Because quite honestly, she could have been married more than once, and the grandchild didn't know. My mother was married more than once, and I didn't know that until I was almost an adult. So if somebody had come along and told me, I would have questioned it. But if you have a source, it's hard to argue with that.
It is, and then that's collaboration. You met a new friend on WikiTree that maybe you helped, or maybe they got the wrong person. Is a similar name? If you're Sally Jones in the same town, then
right.
Maybe just a small little oopsie, and you're, in a way, you help them understand who your family tree is, so they can put that information on the correct tree. Or if grandma did marry more than once, you just met a new cousin on WikiTree, so you never know.
Exactly. Yep. Surprise. Yeah. That's what genealogy is all about.
It is. So keep in mind, I want everybody to take away with you the information that if you have an issue with somebody and you need to just work through it calmly, just as humans, we need to work through things calmly, because that's how you get results. What you're really wanting is a solution to something, whatever it might be.
That's seriously what the problems with members is all about. It's helping you to decide whether you need to wait a day to contact them, whether you need to just walk away for an hour and come back, or whether you need to turn it over to somebody else and ask them to handle it. One of the options on there is to contact the leader of a project that might have some relevance to the problem and see if they can help you. There's many different options for solving problems and communicating.
There really are not. I always used to tell my son, as he's going through elementary, can be be tough for kids sometimes, you know, and I used to always tell them, you're human. You're not always going to agree with everybody, and everybody's not going to agree with you. And if you can't handle it, then you need to go to a teacher, for example. So if it's the same kind of principle that we all kind of learned when we were younger, if you can't handle it in a calm way, or you can't see through the light, and you can't agree with each other, and you just keep butting heads and disagreeing on whether grandma did have those extra husbands, take it to a mentor. And I love what you have on the page, because someone who is good at looking at both sides of the situation, they're neutral.
Yes, they try very hard to be neutral. Hillary can attest to that. And so let's look at the other side of this. What if you are contacted by a mentor who says, it looks like another member noticed that you were struggling with X. For example, maybe you are new to the site, or maybe you just certified to work on pre-1700 profiles, but you're not adding sources. Or maybe you're not adding what we consider to be a reliable source, because we get pretty picky when we get back to pre-1700 profiles. Somebody may have noticed that you're not doing that. Somebody may not feel comfortable approaching you about that. Maybe they don't have a lot of pre-1700 experience, but they know, what they don't know.
Yeah.
So they go to problems with members, and they end up filling out a mentor intervention request. And that comes into the mediator group. And then the mentor leaders who are part of that group will take a look at that, kind of try to understand at a high level what the problem is. And then they go and they match that mentor intervention request up with a mentor who works with pre-1700 profiles, for example. And then that mentor will reach back out to they'll also look a little closer in detail at what that member has been doing. Sometimes they have to look at what the person who submitted it has also been doing, depending on what the situation is, and come to an understanding about what's been going on. And then they'll reach out and see if they can help the member that was the subject of the mentor intervention request, and see if they can, help them understand what they need to change in what they're doing. Help them understand what kinds, how to find a pre-1700 project that fits with what they're working on. And that project will have a list of pre-1700 reliable sources that they can draw on. So that's just an example of one of the resolutions they might come to.
I'm really glad
if you get
mentioned projects, because that's really important. A lot of times, sometimes a member who is brand new, or as Murray had mentioned, that he's been with WikiTree for a while, but kind of in and out, and really now just getting started. So even though if you look at his profile, he's might have been here for years, and you're thinking, well, he's been here for years, he might know everything he needs to know. But if he's struggling and he reaches out to a mentor might even recommend, you really have an interest in this particular area. You really have an interest in this type of profile that needs a lot more details than what I would call a modern profile be. Why don't you join this project? And that would be key, because if you join a project, you have instant access, as Julie said, to not only a list of sources and resources, but you can join their Discord or their G2G, or just send an email to the project leaders, because these are experts and people will be able to answer your questions pretty quick.
Yeah, most of the projects will have, besides G2G, they'll also have a way to communicate with the members of the projects as a group, either on Discord, maybe in a Google group. So you have, I'll say it's a captive audience. They're not really captive, but you know what I mean. They're all interested in the same thing you're interested in, and you never know what kind of people you're going to find in there that have expertise in areas where you don't, that can help you. So joining a project on WikiTree is one of the best things you can do.
The person also that might need help, and you go and you get the help you join a project, get help, you might be able to give help in your area expertise too. And that's the power of WikiTree. collaboration. And I know that you might think, whoa, Sandy and Julie have left the mentor project to talk about something else, but we haven't. What we're recommending is that you join a project or join with other researchers if you don't feel comfortable with project. But like I said, that other person who said, hey, grandma did really marry, and you're getting upset. You're instead of getting upset, look at the details and bring it
It's
through.
hard not to get upset. I understand that. It's, big surprises sometimes in our families, but give yourself the time to absorb what that person's telling you and then evaluate it critically to see. That's one of the things mentors are good at helping you do.
And I so agree, because again, they are neutral. They're going to look at both sides of the story. I have seen some pre 1700 profiles that there has been contention between two members, and they just couldn't agree. And when you're looking at the profile, you've got this mess, you got this mess, you got all this stuff in from both people who couldn't agree. I've seen a profile have a new space page created so somebody could list this from grandma and this with grandma, and they see where it intersects. And what is really great about that? Not only do you work together and you don't need an MIR, or you don't need yourself to go find a mentor, you're working together and you're seeing things a little clearly. You almost become mentors to each other as well.
Right. Sometimes it's all about organizing the information so that it makes sense. Put it in order so that you can see where the discrepancies are. And that's something a mentor can help you with. They have tools that they've been taught about or that they've learned about through their experience on WikiTree for how to solve problems. And Sandy, how do we define it, or how do we resolve a discrepancy? What's the first thing we look at?
Well, you're going to look at
sources.
And I love that you said too that the mentors can come in. So if you're like, Sandy, what's a space page? And you're like, Julie, what qualifies as a source for this? I might be part of the project. I don't know if I'm part. The mentor comes in and makes things a lot clearer. They will explain.
Yeah.
They know what they're looking at, because as Julie said, they're experienced around WikiTree. So they know what they're doing. If you leave this program with anything, think of the mentors as helpers. That's really what they are. If you receive an MIR, don't get nervous. Don't freak out. Just look through it, read the message, and I promise you, your mentor is very friendly. That's part of what they do. They understand that you're going to be nervous when you see this, and they're going to be very calm, and they're going to help you work through any situation, and you get to move forward from that.
Yep. I had a thought, Sandy, and it just left my brain. Keep talking and it'll come back to me. Oh, I know what it was. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is, why do we need to have mentors and why do we need to have problem resolution and stuff like that? Well, as everybody mostly everybody knows, WikiTree is one big tree. You don't have your tree, Sandy. I don't have my tree. We work together. We have a style guide that I mentioned before. We have policies. We have standards. We basically have a set of rules that we all agree to work by. So when a new member comes in, and it's not always new members that need to have help from a mentor. Sometimes it's established people, and that's okay. Maybe they haven't had time to work on their genealogy until recently. But we all have to kind of work in the same fashion, and we all have to follow the same rules so that we can move towards the goal of WikiTree, which is to have a single family tree where we share our ancestors. So if somebody comes in and they don't understand that they're working on a single family tree and they think they can just build their private tree, they need to have some help understanding how it works very differently to share information about their ancestors, and how to make it all kind of look, make each profile look kind of similar to another profile, so that we can look at it and see, oh, there's the biography, there's the sources section. Oh, look, somebody added research notes. How to format that so that it makes sense. So we need to have the mentors and the problem resolution to make sure that everybody is pointed in the same direction.
And that's the key. That's really a good way of summing it up. Everybody's collaborative, going in the same direction. Oh, we got you, Julie. We got you. Well, I think that we're out of time. I didn't see any questions come through. So I'd like to thank you again, Julie, for being here and discussing mentors. I hope everybody takes away a little bit of information and feels comfortable. The other thing is join. Feel free to join the Mentors Project as well. We welcome you to join and help us out. If this is something that you like, conflict resolution or problem solving or anything like that, feel free to join the mentors and just go to their homepage and contact them and they will get back in touch with you. I want to say thank you, and thank you to Julie. She had a little bit of computer problems there, but I appreciate her being here with us, and everybody enjoy the rest of WikiTree Day 2023.